What's up, Viking fans? Welcome to the 2020 NFL Draft Virtual Happy Hour presented by our friends at Miller Lite. We couldn't have a draft party this year, so we are bringing the draft party to you. I'm joined immediately by two of the best, Ben Lieber and the voice of the Vikings, Mr. Paul Allen. And just like the title, this is a happy hour, right, guys? This is going to be a flowing, sitting, fun, drinking, enjoyable conversations. And just like a real happy hour, we're going to have a lot of guests popping in and out. There's a lot of names that are possible here. Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, the first-round pick. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be fun. But I want to start out with you two guys. Before we get to any of our fun guests, Paul, I was listening to you today on KFAN, and Spielman joined, Rick Spielman. And he is always a good interview, but he seemed borderline excitable today. Is that how we should all be feeling after that first round?
Well, I think he got rest. Like Rick said, he went to sleep 10 minutes after the draft, and boom, just immediately went out. So, I'm elated with what has transpired so far. Personally speaking, I think you can tell Rick is. Quite honestly, when Rick says, either publicly or privately, he did not think Justin Jefferson would be available at 22. He's telling the truth. And to be able to get a receiver of that quality, then a corner, and then you still have the rest of the picks, I understand why he was giddy.
And Ben, this cornerback, all the talk is we wanted him at 25. We were able to trade back and get him at 31, and that gives us all this capital for day 2 and day 3.
Yeah, I wondered what the process was going to be when they traded back. And, we were all pontificating like, okay, it could be Christian Fulton, it could be Jeff Gladney. And the way it worked out, both of those guys were still available. And so they took the best guy that they thought, and it was Gladney. And I couldn't be more happy. I've liked this guy for a while now. I've worked some TCU games, so I've seen him play. I've talked to Coach Patterson down there about him specifically. And I knew that he was a baller, man. I just knew that he was good. And he does a lot of things. Listen, this cornerback class was really good. There are a few things that separated some of these guys. I think one of them was his pure ability to shut down some players. He was lined up against the number one receiver of all the Big 12 teams that they play. Remember, in the Big 12, they play a round robin. They don't play East versus West, North versus South. They play everybody. And so he's getting everybody's best every Saturday. And definitely held his own and was all conference. So listen, he's a phenomenal football player. He's got a great attitude, and I was happy, and I think he's going to thrive in this system.
Yeah, and any guy who can chase wide receivers all over the field and line up anywhere, Zimmer's got to be just sitting at his ranch, just ready for him. We here at the Happy Hour are ready for you, the fans. Just as a heads up, it's not just us. We wanted to get you guys involved. So if you tweet during the show using the hashtag Vikings Draft, hashtag Vikings Draft, we will try to get your question to any of the people that are on the show. Like I said, it's going to be a big fun mess, but throw your questions at us and we'll try to get them in there. Paul, Justin Jefferson was on the show today too, and he's already tweeted out how excited he is to be playing for Kirk. He's already tweeted about how excited he is to be next to Adam Thielen. It's really fun to hear that, and I know every first round pick feels that way, but you could feel genuine enthusiasm about coming to the team.
Yeah, and genuine enthusiasm from me too, because when I looked at his last 3 games against Georgia, Oklahoma, then in the national championship game against Clemson, in those 3 games against those 3 big-time teams, Cy and everybody else, he averaged 10 catches a game, 150 yards a game, and nearly 2 touchdowns a game. And he had 4 against Oklahoma and 200 and change receiving, and then 9 catches in the national championship game against Terrell and a very, very good Clemson defense. So he's the real deal. I'm quite honestly, I'm still surprised the Vikings got him at 2-2.
And as a guy who I will never claim to understand anything about film and football players, but anytime a guy puts on shows against the best, that's the dude I want on my team at the pro level. Let's get our first guest into the happy hour here, because this is a guy who actually knows a little bit about watching film and understanding it. We are joined now by Vikings Director of College Scouting, Jamaal Stephenson. Jamaal, welcome to the happy hour, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Big night. Exciting first night, huh?
Very exciting. Yeah, and we're looking to add some more players in the second night as well. So we'll see how it goes.
Hey, Jamaal, with Gladney specifically, I'd begin there. Obviously the body of work is what would bring Gladney into the Vikings covenant, specifically in the first round. That game he had against Denzel Mims and Baylor, I mean, you watch all the film. Was that about as good as it got?
Yeah, I mean that was a good game to watch as far as the competition that he's going to be facing at the next level. And he really stepped up to the plate. And, they throw the ball all over the yard, in that conference. And this guy stepped up, most times he was challenged. He stepped up against a taller guy and really held his own. So we had Gladney high up there on our board. We love what he brings from a competitive standpoint. Everyone's saying he's not the tallest guy at 5'10", but you do love the length, the competitor, and just facing up with the guy at the combine. I like what he stands for. He's a football player, and we can't get enough, those kind of guys, at the Minnesota.
Ben?
Well, and Jamaal, you sort of alluded to it. The two things that I like a lot about him too. We can talk about feet and hips and transitions and all that other stuff. But the thing that I feel like really shows up on tape is just his attitude. I mean, he plays with a chip on his shoulder all the time. And the other thing is, as you look into his career there at TCU, he came on campus at Fort Worth and basically started almost immediately his first year. He's got a lot of snaps under his belt. So some of these guys like a Trayvon Diggs doesn't have a lot of starting experience and a lot of actual cornerback snaps, whereas this guy, man, he's been through it all, and he's been through it all for a number of years, and he's shown his durability and that attitude, man. The guy he is full of attitude, swagger, confidence, but not over the top where he gets extended, not over himself.
Right. I mean, yeah, Ben, you hit it. I mean, that's what you look for, particularly out of that position. You want guys who feel confident, and I felt it when he walked into the room and I met him at the combine. I've been watching him for 2 years now. I was at the Cheez-It Bowl back in 2018. Saw him versus Cal. He had an interception in that game. He carries himself with a swagger, and that's what you like about him. He loves ball. He loves to compete. He's tough. He's aggressive. He's athletic. This guy had 14 PBUs in the Big 12 conference, and led the conference. So he's denying receivers the ball. That's what we want.
Jamaal, is it?
Hey, Jamaal.
My bad, Paul.
Oh, no, go ahead, Si.
Jamaal, I got to think, outside of just the players we're getting, the guy who spends this is your career. You scout these guys. You meet these guys. It's got to be really cool and interesting to see these faces that you've spent so much time with just spread across the league on these 3 days.
Yeah, I know. It's and that's what we talk about in scouting is you build a library of players in your head, so you can say, okay, 5 years ago, I graded this guy at this grade, and this is what he produced at the next level. And you just start making comparisons in your head. And that's a large part of what we do. It's a projection business. So you've got to use your instincts and not only your instincts, but just go off your experience. And I think that's what serves us well is having such an experienced scouting staff, guys that have been together for, I don't know, maybe over 10 years. We've been together for the most part. So I think that serves us well.
Awesome. Well, Jamaal, thank you so much. And you're busy. I know these days are crazy. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with us. We appreciate it, man. And we're looking forward to who you guys are bringing in tonight.
No problem. Thanks for having me on, guys. Skol.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot.
Bye, Jamaal.
Well, Paul and Ben, we go from one of our best to one of the best in the media in terms of this sort of stuff. NFL Network reporter Stacey Dales is joining us to give us a little bit of national perspective on how she thinks things went night one. How you doing, Stacey?
Hi, guys. Wow, what a first round we had, right? I mean, first of all, it's great to see all of you. I thought the NFL did a spectacular job. I don't know. I haven't been privy to the conversation that has been ensuing previous to me joining, but I thought it was a fantastic job by all parties involved. I mean, there were very few technical glitches. The timing was fantastic. And I think I was most surprised that we didn't see any trades really with that top 10 group. And that kind of surprised me. But I think that Rick Spielman couldn't have been more transparent. And I don't like to use that word, but I love that he went for need, and got a really good wide receiver and a really good cornerback in this draft.
Hey, Stacey, hi, Stacey, the
Hi.
Sooner. If you come down low, trying to get that block. Right. Elite basketball player, Stacey Dales. Have you gotten to the bottom of exactly why Green Bay took Jordan Love and traded up to get him to that spot?
Yeah, so I was on a call with GM Brian Gutekunst last night, and he really just dumbed it down and simplified it to he was the last best player available on their board in the first round, and they felt like they had to move up and get him because he was the last best player available. And he said sometimes it goes that way. This has nothing to do. I've been kind of amazed by the reaction out there that, Aaron Rodgers might have somebody creeping up on him right now. Like, Gutekunst has made it very clear, you guys, that Aaron Rodgers is still trying to cement his legacy. And to me, it's very much Tom Brady and Jimmy Garoppolo. And they want somebody for the future. I'm talking 4 or 5 years from now. And they believe Jordan Love is that guy.
Makes
Hi,
sense.
Stacey. How are you?
Hi, Ben.
How are the puppies?
They're nuts. I mean, probably as nuts as your kids right now. Like,
Yeah.
And they're seeing me way too much, and they're spoiled beyond spoiled. So they're probably the most spoiled dogs in America.
I know. I think our dogs and our kids want us out of the house a little bit more. Just like, go. We're tired of seeing you. We're tired of let me ask you about the wide receivers then. I think it was widely contested and debated. It was CeeDee Lamb versus Jerry Jeudy. Who's number one? And neither one of those guys go number one. It's Henry Ruggs. It's the small guy. It's the quick guy that goes number one out of that wide receiver group. And then Rager goes in a position where I don't think a lot of people thought he was going to go. That's where Jefferson was going to go. What do you make of how the wide receivers sort of shuffled around and the Vikings ended up with a great wide receiver in Justin Jefferson?
I make of it's best fit for the team. So we've been seeing this virtual system now in place. And I really think when you look at a guy like Rager goes to the Eagles ahead of Justin Jefferson, this is really best fit, I think, and feel for the personnel. And you start building those relationships. And I think teams fall in love with guys throughout, it starts back at the combine. I was surprised that CeeDee Lamb, and it's not because I'm a Sooner, didn't go first. I think he's just so impactful when he catches the football, and he can win those battles aerially. And but I think that was one of my favorite picks, him going to the Dallas Cowboys. Boy, I mean, he has a 2-hour drive south to Dallas, Fort Worth area. And, I love Ruggs. I love his speed. I think when you look at the model now, you guys, and you see it there in Minnesota, the speed of an Adam Thielen or the now departed Stephon Diggs, right? And a Tyreek Hill. And look at what the Kansas City Chiefs do. They go and win a Super Bowl. So I think that's very appealing to teams right now. But I love this Justin Jefferson. I mean, he was a production machine last season. He's versatile. I know we saw him a lot in the slot, but I just think that his experience throughout his football career, you can use him anywhere on the field if you're Gary Kubiak and Mike Zimmer. So this offense, Kyle Rudolph and Delvin Cook in the backfield, it's going to be awesome.
I think it would be great, Stacey, if Jefferson averaged 17 yards per reception in his rookie year, like you did 17 points per game, 0-1, 0-2 Sooners.
Well, you've been challenging me to a one-on-one match for I don't know how many years, Paul. I'm like, when are we actually going to do it? I ruptured my plantar fascia about 8-10 months ago. I could still win.
I'm in.
We got
Yeah,
the quarantine has to end for no other reason than I need to video.
Quarantine has to end. Secondly, you still need to have the bad foot. Thirdly, I need to shed my third chin. And fourth, we can do horse, and I think that would be best. Okay.
I definitely thought you were going to say, thirdly, I need to shed my third chin. Fourthly, I need to shed my fourth chin.
That would have been better.
Why would you say that, man? I mean, look at me with this eyebrow here. Now you're making fun of. I can't even get to a salon and fix my eyebrow.
That's the worst part about Zoom. You see your crooked noses and you got to look at yourself. Stacey, we got a fan question here. We saw the two needs already. You talked about two of the needs. This one's about the third one. Andrew Kriz, with so many linemen taken in round 1, will there be any decent ones left in rounds 2 and 3? Or will most be projects or long-term? #Vikings draft.
It's a great question. I think obviously we all know the bulk of depth in this draft is receiver and cornerback. I think we're gonna see a lot of teams that have impact players even in rounds 2, 3, 4, 5 with some of these receivers and cornerbacks. I think there's still some linemen out there. But for me, for the Minnesota Vikings, I like their offensive line. I want to see them go defensive line. If they, I mean, there's still a bevy of picks for this team. Rick Spielman has been doing this for a long time, I believe since 2006 as the GM. I would love to see them get somebody like a Ross Blacklock. I mean, I just think if you could add something where you're leaving a void with Everson Griffin now, and a leader up front defensively, that would excite me to see with this group. And, of course, Gladney now on the back end. I mean, they're building it through the draft. They've got a bunch of picks, and I think we're going to see some more need-type picks from Spielman in the draft starting again today.
Stacey, you are incredible. Everybody, can I get your Twitter account quick?
Well, it's at Stacey Dales.
You're darn right it is. If you're not following her during the draft and during the season, you have as good a chance as Paul does beating her one-on-one.
I just got warmed up, though, with that fire behind Paul, and I couldn't have had a more joyous part of my day joining you guys. You guys are awesome.
Well, thank you so much.
And by the way, that's Stacey with an E. Stacey with an E, okay?
Stacey with an EY. Thank you, Stacey.
That's right. Thanks, guys.
See ya, bye.
Well, now, boys, let's ratchet this thing up because we've had guest and then another guest. And now we're going to treat it like a real happy hour and dump a bunch of guests in. Brian O'Neill, Adam Thielen, and Vikings first-round pick, Justin Jefferson.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What's going on, boys? Wow.
Hey, fellas. Thank you so much for joining us. Justin, congratulations on being the first-round pick. Brian, congratulations on still being the biggest man I've ever seen in my life. And Adam, congratulations on turning into a ghost. Let's start with you, Justin, quick. And guys, and there goes Adam. Adam, look at Adam. He's got
what's up?
The hat and the chain. He looks like a white
rabbit. Look. Wow.
What's going on?
Adam, with that look, are you auditioning for like that TV show Deadliest Catch where you go out like off Dutch Harbor and catch crab?
You do not want to see my hair right now. It's been rough. So,
man, really, you're gonna tell somebody their hair's rough? Come on.
Adam looks like he's about to go mom spaghetti at a restaurant.
Adam, just shave it
up right here.
Yeah. Adam, just shave it, man. Just take a clipper and shave it.
Ben always tells.
I'm trying to hold on for a couple more years, Lever.
He always tells people to do that, but he's got one of those symmetrical heads. If any of the rest of us peeled our hair off, we'd look like geese. So no, we don't need him pushing. Guys, let's run around here a little bit. This is supposed to be a happy hour. We're obviously going to talk over each other a little bit, but let's bounce back and forth. Justin, I want to start with you. I want you to tell me what this day has been like for you. And then Adam, I wouldn't hate you jumping in and talking about what it's going to be like to be a wide receiver for the Vikings. And we will get to you when we're ready, Brian.
Just to start it off, everything has been, a blessing to finally be a Minnesota Viking and being able to join you guys and to building franchise and reaching that Super Bowl. So definitely excited. It's been all crazy since last night, but just definitely excited and happy.
Hey, Justin, Paul Allen, thanks for joining my radio show earlier today. I really
No problem.
appreciate that. I forgot to ask you, do you have a nickname? I mean, like you go by JJ, you go by Jet. What's the deal?
Jets, Jets, Jets.
Yeah, man. And we on the radio we were talking about those final three games: Georgia, Oklahoma, and of course the national championship game. And right before you, the general manager Rick Spielman was on, and he's like, hey, are there things Justin has to learn in the NFL? Absolutely. But one thing for sure is he has a knack for showing up big when the lights are the brightest. So that's just a little extra energy, right?
Oh, definitely. Always just trying to show up in those big games. And even those little small games that we was playing in college, just trying to, play 100%. So just having that opportunity as soon as I get the ball to make something work and to score for my team.
Hey, Adam, I'm going to bring you in now and have you talk to Justin. You were on the radio show with us earlier in the week, and I asked you this question. And for the people that did not hear it, I thought this was a really transparent and honest question. And I asked you, what was the most important thing as you transitioned from college into the NFL? Is it getting off the line, whatever? And you said it was beating man coverage. That's it. You said you got to beat man coverage. How do you go about telling this young man how to do that from day one?
Well, number one, I was able to watch a few of his games, and I saw him do that several times. It was fun to see some of those highlights of him last night after he got drafted. I always love watching those clips of guys after they get drafted, especially when we draft someone. So it was fun to see those because you watch him run a far cross. You see him stair step the guy because it was man coverage, and he stair stepped him. He created about 3-4 yards of separation, and I think he broke the tackle and went down the sideline. There was another clip where he had an inside fade, and he just set it up and just beat the guy, right? Like, I know he ran a good 40 and things like that, but to me, a 40, throw it out the window. Like, yeah, it's great. Like, run under a 4.6, whatever, it's good. And I want to see what you can do on tape. And he's a guy. Which makes me excited to play alongside of him because he's a guy that is also fast on the field, and he can separate, he can beat man coverage. And at the end of the day, that's why I said it to you guys when I was on the radio show. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to man coverage. And when it's a crucial situation, when it's a crucial game, when it's the playoffs, the game's on the line. Look at some of those games that we had late in the season in our playoff stretch. Like, you're getting man coverage, and Kirk is going to find the guy that's one-on-one and give you a shot. So make a play, and that's what this guy's able to do.
Brian, man, let me bring you into this, dude. I think when you think about skilled players like Justin Jefferson getting drafted, we ask, what's Adam psyched about? What's Kirk psyched about? As an offensive lineman, though, anytime you add skill, that's got to be exciting for your group.
100%. I mean, we're about scoring points, and he's going to help us do that. So, anything that, if we score more points, it makes my job easier. We can continue to run the ball after he scores a couple touchdowns. So I'm excited. I'm glad to have him.
Yeah. Hey, with guys, Paul Allen, with this happy hour, are we sure? Because you think Adam Thielen, okay, one of the better receivers already in the NFL. Here's Justin Jefferson, Jets, comes into the NFL, LSU national champions, first-round pick. Are we sure the skilled guys are the best athletes in this Zoom? Because let's not forget, Brian O'Neill was an unbelievably good basketball player and also scored touchdowns at Pitt as an offensive lineman. Quite honestly, offensive linemen don't get the proper credit. So I'm just laying it out there. Are we sure these receivers are truly the best athletes of the Vikings in the conversation?
I think so.
I was going to say, I think I can speak for both Brian and I.
I don't want to go out there and have to try to compete against those guys.
I will say, PA, and Justin, obviously, if you do get a little worked up on the sideline, Brian's the guy that's going to calm you down. So I tend to get a little, I tend to get a little bit amped up on the sideline, Brian like literally comes out of nowhere and like snags me on the back like a little brother, and it's like, dude, lock in. So
Dude, Brian,
Adam,
Brian,
I'm sure Adam probably remembers this from the Raiders game, and I can't remember the player, but Justin might want to, when he starts watching some Vikings film, U.S. Bank Stadium, Brian O'Neill blocked a member of the Oakland Raiders. I'm not kidding you, down by the goal line, 10 yards out of bounds, and just wouldn't stop.
Love it.
freak. Well, Brian, I was going to say, Adam, I was going to say, that's surprising to me because when I'm on the sidelines watching the game, Brian's the one that's like the most vocal of all the offensive linemen. I didn't think that you would be the one to be calming other guys down. But you all of a sudden now you're the voice of reason?
I don't know if I'd ever call myself a voice of reason,
No
but
way. Guys, we got a fan question here for Justin. It's from Anthony Madden, and he wants to know, Justin, how fired up are you getting to play and learn from a top 10 receiver in the league in Adam? And this is fun because we get to hear your answer, and we get to see Adam be uncomfortable because we complimented him like this.
But yeah, it's definitely exciting and fun. You know, just growing up, watching Adam and you know, Stephon Diggs and the rest of the guys, watching their film and, you know, seeing the different plays that they make on the field, definitely is a sight to see. You know, this whole past season, we definitely watched you guys plenty of times, and seeing the difficult catches you had, and you know, the different body positions that you have to be in order to, you know, make those plays. So definitely a big fan.
You know, Justin, I was going to say this. Watching some of your games back, I know that receivers have to use your hands, but you use your hands very, very well. I mean, I think it's like saying, oh, a linebacker has to know how to tackle, but there's also ways that you can tackle. There's ways that you can catch the ball. And the thing I think I appreciate about your game and watching Adam play, you guys catch with your hands more than anything else. Yes, there are times you have to use your body, but you got to be a pure hands catcher, and you're all that as well.
Yeah, working with Joe Brady. As soon as he came in, we went straight to eye coordination drills and different tennis ball drills and just different things to work out the hands. And you know, our hands got tremendously better from my sophomore year to my junior year. So definitely shouts out to him for working with my hands and just doing different drills to better.
And Justin, you know, you playing at LSU, being from Louisiana, and you said you watched all the Vikings games. Hopefully you didn't miss that first playoff game. Cousins to Thielen, right side, inside the 5. Then Kyle Rudolph back left to the end zone. Next week didn't work out the way they wanted. But beating the New Orleans Saints, maybe your favorite team until now, that's always very important around here.
I mean, yeah, definitely. I went to the game actually. You know, and I was in the stands watching the game and being a fan for both teams, to be honest. So I didn't really grow up a Saints fan, but I was fan of individual players. So you know, whooping up on the Saints wouldn't be bad for me.
Yeah.
Well, guys, hey, man, we really appreciate you guys joining us. Justin, congratulations on the first-round pick. We're all excited to see you play. Adam, thank you so much. Just a quick shout-out to the Thielen Foundation. If you're watching and you want to get involved and check out the great thing he's doing in the community during these tough times, we appreciate that, Adam. Brian, buddy, it's always good to see you. Thank you for not attacking me, given the criticisms I level your way consistently. You guys are the best, man. And enjoy the rest of your draft weekend, Justin, and we'll see you guys soon.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
Later, guys.
See you, Justin.
It's great. It's on virtual, so we kind of do the. It's kind of got that. And there's Brian still.
Yeah.
They do the. It's kind of like even though it's not a real
weird handshake.
Yeah, it's the long Minnesota
like
goodbye. Hey, I gotta say, before we bring in this next awesome group, I want to know from either one of you guys. I mean, having two guys who can, we just saw both of them, who can both play the slot and the outside really well. I mean, I know Kubiak was high on this guy, but he's just got to be licking his chops thinking about how he can scheme with that, right?
Yeah, I think so. That we heard about last night with Jefferson, like, well, he's just a slot guy. Well, he's not just a slot guy. You know, he played some slot last year. He played some outside receiver the year before that. And if there's one theme with the NFL draft this year and really the last couple of years, it's all about versatility. You know, look at the Chiefs taking Edwards-Helaire at the very end of the draft. Well, why him over a Dobbins or somebody like that? Well, it's because he has versatility. They felt like he was the next Westbrook for that system. And same thing with Jefferson. He can play inside. He can play outside. We've got a bunch of tight ends now. You can split out on the outside of the formation, and you can motion a running back out of the backfield. But all of a sudden now you've got matchup problems all over the defense. So the more that you can do as a player, the better and the longer career you're going to have.
And Cy, quickly before the next group comes in, I can't wait till we can gather for many reasons. But you see, Adam early in his career, he was strictly a slot guy, and he had to work really hard to beat good corners outside. And I'm curious if Justin is kind of that guy now with high-end talent. I can't wait to watch him on the field.
Oh, man, that would be a dream come true for Viking fans. Well, let's go from offense to defense, and let's drop in this group. We got brand new defensive tackle Michael Pierce. We have brand new defensive coordinator Adam Zimmer. We got cornerback Chris Boyd, and we have brand new quarterback and first-round pick Jeff Gladney. What's up, fellas? Thank you for joining us.
What up, boys?
No problem. Hey, how's everybody doing?
Nice.
We are doing good.
Good.
Let's thank you so much for joining all of us. We're going to run around the room here, but let's start with you, Jeff. What's it feel like to be a first-round pick, and what's it feel like to be a member of the Vikings?
Man, it feels great, man. Just a dream come true, and it's true. Minnesota Vikings, I'm glad to stay in the purple, so that definitely makes it better.
Awesome. And Mike, you're new to the purple as well too, man. How have you been? I know it's not official. You probably haven't been house shopping given the situation and doing all those things, but does it feel good to be heading this direction?
Yeah, most definitely, man. I can't wait to get integrated in the community. Most foremost, get to know my teammates. So I'm excited, man.
Wait a second. Can I just spend like 3 seconds looking at what a juggernaut looks like? I'm framing up the juggernaut. Our new big beef in the middle, getting the double team and freeing the lanes for Kendricks. Can't wait.
Yes, sir. No, it's going to be awesome, man. Hopefully we can get over this thing and get the rolling soon.
And Adam, as a first-year defensive coordinator, and you got to be super excited to have a new cornerback in the mix and a new defensive tackle. And yesterday had to have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's great to get such great talent added to the team. You know, Michael's been a heck of a player for, and I'm excited to get to work with him. Eventually, we'll get in the facility, and you know, Jeff has been a really good college football player. He's really competitive, and we talked to his head coach. He raved about his toughness and physicality and intangibles. So we're really excited to have both those guys join us.
Hey, Adam, my fire behind me is not as good as last night at Zimmer Ridge Ranch, and I have no mounted animals, but at least I'm trying, man.
Yeah, actually, Paul, it's been a while since I've seen you, and I actually do miss you. So it's good to see you.
You don't have to say that. You don't have to suck up to Paul right now.
Yes,
you put the word actually.
You don't have to. Yeah.
I've seen as my dad for 2 weeks.
Let's see how much
actually a month now.
Let's see how much he does miss me. Okay, well, I miss you too. Who are we taking at 58? Oh, that's what I thought. You don't miss me that much, right?
I don't even know that. You got to ask Rick that.
Hey, Chris, I want to ask you, man. You've been in the league now. Like you've got some experience in the league. What can you give Jeff as he makes that transition? Now, this is going to be a crazy offseason because you might not see Jeff for a while. But what sort of advice can you give him as a guy that's been there, done that?
Number one would have to be staying in the playbook. Football is going to take care of itself. Pretty much just making sure you stay on top of your business, like handling everything, responsibilities, showing the coaches that you're accountable and that you're ready to work. I mean, that's probably the most important thing. And that's from
Hey,
that's from
Si.
What'd you say?
No, I thought you were done. That's my bad. Continue.
Oh no, I was just telling them that like those are the main priorities, like handling your business and standing in the playbook. That's probably the number one thing.
Already.
It's a happy hour, man, with a lot of noise around us and everything, in this virtual bar. I want to fire two quickly at Chris. I'm a big Chris Boyd fan. Chris, yes or no? Do you think you'll lead the team in special teams tackles again next year?
The
correct answer is no, and you know why.
I'll be busy playing, so I don't know if I'm gonna be out there. Yeah, all around the board, I'm gonna be out there.
Yeah, and that was the second part of it. I mean, having Jeff Gladney here, specifically that work he did against Denzel Mims and Baylor, holy cow! So great,
Say what's up to my little bro, man. What's good?
Man, what's good,
hey,
I'm
I'm glad to have you, bro.
Man, for sure, man. Glad to link with you, dog.
Hey, they don't even know. We go way back, bro. Since high school.
Real.
Both knew each other way back in Texas, right?
High school. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Well,
That's
did you guys ever play against each other, like one on offense, the other on defense?
We scrimmaged them.
Yeah.
We scrimmaged them every year.
Right on.
Man, that's got to be really cool. It's anytime the NFL is such a big and small community at the same time. So anytime you see somebody that you came up with in the same building, that's got to be a lot of fun.
It's a blessing.
Jeff, we got a fan question for you. This one's coming from Matthew, and he wants to know which current NFL player you would say your game is most similar to, or that you've looked at to model after a little bit.
I modeled my game after Jason Barrett a lot. Corner, he came out of TCU, so we were in the same scheme. So I kind of watched what he did a lot and tried to mimic my game with that, mix my own flavor with it.
Awesome.
Hey, Michael, listen, man, I'm old school here, and I know that these guys are getting a lot of attention because they got some swagger and they're cornerbacks and they're out on an island and stuff. But you need to tell them right now that it's rush, then coverage, right? It's what you got. It's what you boys do up front that's going to help those guys in the back.
Hey, I'm ready to see him go. I'm telling you that right now.
It started in the trenches.
Yeah, man. Nah, everything works in tandem. So the big boys, we don't get as much credit, but at the end of the day, man, if we win it'll all filter out. We all good.
Oh, look! Look at Michael and his career, his fantastic career. Just with who we have here. Jeff, first-round pick, fantastic. Chris, seventh-round pick, did great. Ben Lieber, third-round pick, Kansas State, back when it was the San Diego Chargers, and the juggernaut, undrafted. Got a nice contract too, didn't he? Well
yes,
done.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Well, and Mike, it's I'll tell you, I am the least football skilled or knowledgeable person in this room by at least 35 miles. I'm the diehard fan, and I'll tell you, the guys that play your spot that come in here and knock it out of the park like you do, they are fan favorites. We had Pat Williams, we had Limbaugh, and I know people are thrilled to have you here,
man. Yeah, man. I've done my homework, and just being a fan of them. You've heard of Pat Williams. He's built similar to myself, and being a fan of Limbaugh from afar and learning from his film has been awesome. So I kind of feel like I know how a lot of the guys play from just watching his film and breaking stuff down. So it'll be awesome once I get to meet these guys in person.
Well, you didn't have to tell everybody that you were not a football player and athlete. We could kind of just see that.
I didn't say a word about not being an athlete. I said football player.
That's tough, yo.
I am Larry Bird, okay? I am Larry Bird.
Spot
basketball.
But let's hey, speaking of the trenches, Mike, let's bring in one of the Viking fan favorites from the past and those trenches. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Robison, I think, is going to be with us here. Yeah.
Oh, hey, listen. I might turn into a fanboy. Chill. Y'all got
wait.
Hey.
Oh, that's great.
I might turn into a fanboy.
Well, there he is. Fanboy away, Chris.
Crazy.
Take it away, Chris.
What's up?
That was good.
Wow.
Oh, man. Just in here enjoying life. We got a K-State alumni. We got TCU alumni.
Hey, it's a Big 12 party.
It's a Big 12 party
in the house, man.
It is a Big 12 party.
Yeah.
Well, what about Adam, Michael Pierce, and me, Paul Allen, Pasadena City College, Samford, and Trinity? Don't forget us.
We got the few in the league, man. I'll hold it down for the SoCon.
What are those? Are those high schools?
Stop.
Oh, man.
Stop.
Come on, B-Rob.
That's tough.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Y'all, man.
Hey,
First
hold on,
off,
Jeff.
I want to say to the new rookie, congratulations, man, and to the new signee, man, congratulations to you too, bud.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
Hey,
You
I
might
was
be
gonna say
catching any
this.
fish out there?
Man, come on, you know I stay catching fish.
Hey,
What you be fishing for?
Oh, I'm a bass fisherman all the way, man.
Oh, okay. I fish for catfish and crappie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, that's the bad.
Like you
Yeah, I
like
gotta
take them
say
home
you
and fry them
fishing.
up, huh?
What'd you say?
I said you like take them home and fry them up.
Oh yeah, I take them right to my mama. She get it done.
There you go.
Brian, hey man, as you see young guys come into the league on this day, does it give you any flashback feelings? Is it fun to watch, or have you transitioned into that part of post playing career where you're now a little bit of a fan, or does it bring you back to your playing days when you see it?
Man, it definitely brings you back to playing days, and I think for me, people ask me all the time, do I miss it? And yes, I miss it, but if I stay busy, which I'm staying super busy right now with the new tackle addict business and all that stuff, I'm staying super busy with it now. I work out still every day, but I keep my mind focused on things that I'm doing now, so I don't think about it a lot. But as soon as I start seeing stuff, man, those emotions coming back. I was seeing all the stuff about the draft this week. I'm trying to figure out a way how I can get back into the NFL draft, and maybe the Minnesota Vikings will draft me again. But yeah, I mean,
hey, Percy's trying to make a comeback. Maybe you know what?
I know. I saw he's making a comeback. Why can't I?
Yeah, why can't I?
I mean, hey, Adam. I mean, I still got it now.
Oh, I see.
He's still living.
You still got the guns out.
Man, he been in the gym still.
Yeah, I was like, you didn't need to tell us you were working out, Brian. You intentionally showed up in a tank top. We get it.
Yeah, we got it.
Or I got a pool outside. I get in the sun every day. I get a little bit of tan, so the muscles look a little better.
That a boy.
Why you even want to come back then? It sounds like you're living the life.
Right.
Hey, I am living a life, but here's the deal: the NFL gave me that life because I took advantage of the opportunity. And so, I mean, and for some of these young guys, that's what I tell them all the time, man. You got to take advantage of the opportunity. It's not where you get drafted. It's not how you get drafted. It's about what you do when you get there, and that's what you got to do, man. You got to take advantage of that opportunity and make it last as long as you can, and enjoy every day like it's your last.
For sure. Well, that's my. You said that same thing to us on the radio show about, hey man, once you get there, whether you're undrafted from Samford or you're a first-round draft pick, once you put those pads on, it don't matter, man. And the coaches, I'm sure, Adam will even tell us, it doesn't matter at that point in time. Everybody's subject zero, and you got to go out and prove yourself every day.
That's true.
100%.
We had an undrafted free agent, and he's starting games for us. So, we don't care where you come from.
Hey, Adam, just quickly, with the co-defensive coordinator, you have linebackers. Like, what was different for you up to the draft, film watching and stuff like that?
Looking at a few different positions, mainly the corners. I watched Jeff and that big group, and some of the safeties, and sitting in on all the defensive draft meetings, a lot longer days. So that was the main difference. And then sitting in the draft room last night, usually we just sit in our offices during the draft. So sitting in the virtual draft room, I should say.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining us, Adam. Enjoy the ranch. I'm jealous just looking at it. It looks like the most relaxing fun in the world. Jeff, congratulations, man. Welcome to the Vikings. Michael, welcome to the Vikings. Chris, I put a tweet out yesterday, man. Everybody's talking about draft picks. You're one of the guys that I can't wait to see what he does this year. So thank you guys,
that, man. That's all love.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. B-Rob, you're sticking around. I'm going to let you guys head out of the happy hour, and we'll talk to you real soon. See you guys. See you, Adam.
See y'all, man.
All right.
B-Rob, now what we're going to do is we're going to bring in a buddy and former teammate of yours, and let's really turn this thing upside down. I think we have Jared Allen with us, and to get a non-football perspective that's better than mine, I think we got Josh Duhamel joining us. Look, it's Jared Allen either in the nicest house I've ever seen or prison.
Yeah, is that
What a background. And there's Josh Duhamel. Thanks for joining us, fellas.
Hello.
Jared, that's
Hello.
a very ominous background you have there.
Oh, just chilling.
Yeah, it looks like you're just chilling.
I'd open the curtains, but my pool's not done. So
That check, well, that's a bad look.
Yeah,
Gosh,
Jared, I thought those were cinder block walls, Jared. I couldn't tell what that was.
I did too.
fabric curtains. Yeah, my dungeon.
Josh, man, thanks for joining us. How happy you after day one, man?
Oh, what?
How happy are you after day one, man?
I'm really happy. I like both these picks. I like the receiver a lot. I like the D-back a lot. Gladney seems like he's perfect for Zimmer's defense.
Josh, where'd you get that fresh Vikings hat in the Los Angeles area?
Probably at the game.
Yeah. You brought it back.
They're hard to come by in Los Angeles, I'll tell you that.
They were selling those at the stadium that they were building. We were supposed to move to in like 2009.
Yeah.
You didn't go there. Hold on.
Well, hey, let's add one more to the mix here. From the NFL Network, let's bring former Viking Nate Burleson.
Whoa, 81.
Yeah, we got another drop in.
Oh, that's sweet.
There he is. What's up, Nate? How you doing, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. You got B-Rob, Jared, Josh Duhamel, Ben Lieber, Paul Allen, and Cy Amundsen. How you doing, man? Your second guy with a tank top. What's that? Is that a throwback?
Throwback Sean Kemp, Arizona All-Star edition.
Whoa.
Oh, boy.
What's up? Look at that beard, you beautiful man. What's up?
Beards except for me, right?
How you doing, bro?
This is like the quarantine beards.
That's it. You got the quarantine beard.
Lieber's the only one that's buttoned up over there.
I keep mine.
What's up, bro?
Kind of 5 o'clock shadowed on purpose.
Lieber's
We have the quarantine eyebrow here.
We were work. None of us actually work.
Where are you guys all at right now?
Nashville.
You're in Nashville?
Yeah.
How about the rest of you? Minnesota? Burleson? What's that?
I'm in Texas.
Oh, you're in Texas. Okay.
I'm in Arizona. I live in New Jersey, but I flew out to Arizona when it got hot. It was like I Am Legend a few weeks ago. So I brought the family to AZ for some sunshine and to get away from the chaos.
I was going to say, did you get robbed last night? There's nothing on the shelves back there.
This is a rental property, so we don't have anything.
I was gonna say, Nate, I've seen your shoe collection on your social, man. It looked like someone came in and raided all your shoes.
Yeah. No, this is the rental property in AZ, man. So I'll be home this weekend though. Back to Jersey, back to business.
Hey Nate, what about Antoine Winfield's son probably getting drafted here within the next couple hours? Pretty cool.
Yeah. I was hoping that the Minnesota Vikings would have snatched him. It would have just been a special story, him being a Golden Gopher. I just been rooting for him since I saw him play. He kind of bursted on the scene as a young safety, and then I just remember him returning interceptions and kickoff returns, and I thought to myself, this dude is going to be good because people don't know Antoine Winfield was one of the most underrated quarterbacks of all times. He did it all. He covered, he was undersized, and the craziest thing is, it's not like he jumped a 40-inch vertical. It's not like he ran a 4.3. He just maximized his potential and all of his attributes. And his son, he has a little bit more speed. He has a little bit more athleticism and agility. So I hope he lands in a place where they'll actually give him an opportunity to play. He's going to be good. And just like his dad, he's going to be a pro and play like 12 to 15 years if he wants to.
Nate, I don't know if you saw Nate, but Jared and B-Rob and I were all nodding like, yep. That dude is a dog, man. I don't care about his.
And the best way
care about his height. He's the best.
He mentally, he knew he was always a step ahead of people, right? So, like you said, he didn't have to be the fastest. And the dude would hit. I think that was the other thing too, where certain guys, you see it all the time. They use their athleticism to put themselves in a position not to get hit. Antoine Antoine put himself in a position just to absolutely wreak havoc and never slowed down and would run through people. So I think being able, and he could play press. That's the other thing. He could play press. He could play off. That dude could play literally anything. He was a stud. I was kind of watching his son, hoping he would go there too. I didn't have his number. I should have texted him. I couldn't see Twan's face. He was just hiding on his phone.
It's crazy because people ask me all the time, Nate, what was one of your favorite plays? And playing with Randy Moss, we've seen all kind of crazy stuff. Playing with Calvin Johnson, Detroit, seen highlights for days. One of the most impressive plays that I've ever saw in a game. I'm sitting on the sideline. Our defense is up, and Twan is pressed. The receiver goes to block him, and Twan's so small and so strong, he sheds him quickly. There's a pulling guard coming to take his head off. And, you got a big offensive lineman pulling. Usually corners don't want any smoke because they were running a pitch play. Twan sizes up this pulling guard, chops him down, and then bear crawls for like 3 yards, shoved his shoulder into the knee of the running back, and it was a tackle for a loss. So essentially he ran through two dudes. One was bigger than everybody on the field and then tackled a big-ass running back. And I just thought to myself, what other cornerback in the league is doing that and then willing to cover the best receiver? Nobody in my opinion.
Yeah.
Wow.
And where's he going to go?
And you had to watch out for Antoine sometime because he might knock you out too in the process of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that was Madu. Goodness, that dude would hit anything.
Well, Madu kind of closed his eyes a little bit and just kind of torpedoed it at people.
I was watching that Cowboys game, and I was like, oh my goodness, no wonder my back hurt so much.
Yeah. Now, Josh, you got a question.
So where's he going to go? Where's Pia? You said he's going to go where?
Well, I thought Antoine Winfield Jr. might sneak into the end of the first round, but I mean, it's got to be early second round. I mean, Nate knows more about this than me, but that's what I would think.
And where do you think he's going to go?
It really depends on need right now. The simple fact that the Vikings went with Jeff Gladney, I don't think they're going to be in a position to get another DB. They'll probably screw up the defensive line because there's some really good guys here in the second and third round. But he'll land somewhere though, because that type of talent, the guy that's that versatile, and when you're cut from like the pro dad cloth, you're kind of just like ready, set, go. There's not much learning curve that you have. But I mean, so far, I feel like the Vikings, they nailed it, man. With Stephon Diggs being gone, and Stephon is my guy. I love that dude. He's my son's favorite player. There was that gap in that hole that we all wanted to see filled. And Justin Jefferson, like some would say, he's the most like prolific wide receiver in this draft if you consider his size, his speed, and his hands. And if you just look at his numbers are crazy. Like he had over 100 catches, 1,500 yards, almost 20 touchdowns. So I think Justin Jefferson, he comes in and he fills that spot. And it's a little bit different because Thielen and Diggs, like they're similar in a way, and they're not the biggest wide receivers. I love wide receiver groups that have like that balance. You have one big possession guy, and then you'll have a speedster, and then you'll have a guy that can move the chains. I don't like a wide receiver core and they all look the same. I don't want them the same height or the same speed.
Hey Nate, what's your thoughts on why? He's out. He's out.
Gave that answer and just had other things to do.
Bam.
Jared, we got a fan question here. That's the big. We're trying to take fan questions on Twitter, and Robert Douglas wants to know, and I want to know everybody else's opinion on your answer. How's the curling going?
Non-existent right now because of this Corona deal. So
how was it going pre that?
It was going good. We were trending in the right direction, and then we pissed down our leg at the national qualifier, so that didn't feel too good. But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. All those cliches, and yeah, we were doing good. We were excited for this year. I was actually just talking with Bruce yesterday and trying to figure out what the plan going forward is. But if they open it up, listen, if they get a vaccine, and then I'm good. I'm like the guy. I'm gonna let all these people just venture back out when they reopen. Let them get it, and let them be the test dummies, and I'll wait till they get a vaccine, and man, and then I'll it's like the pioneers all took arrows. I want to be in that second or third wave that comes back across. So we'll see how it plays out.
Did you say curling?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Oh, he's good.
Have we been that
They're
out
good.
yet?
They're
Have we
good.
been that
Yeah.
out much?
Yeah.
I had no idea, man.
Oh yeah, dude, we're getting after it. Getting after it.
Do you
Like-
feel the same competitive sense in that? Are you out there like if somebody knocks you off, are you just like, is it that same? Do you bring football to?
Yeah, well, so they have this thing in curling. It's called "In the Spirit of Curling," and you're supposed to be kind, and you're not supposed to, be mean and say bad things. So, we try to use our size as a little bit of intimidation while we're out there. But let's just say there's been multiple brooms snapped when I lose to a group of people that I don't think it's a loose people, or someone on our team doesn't play the way I feel they should play, if I don't play the way I feel I should play. There's been a few brooms snapped in the locker room, and everybody's in the same locker room. It's really weird going from professional football to professional curling. It's not a whole lot of perks.
Jared, what's the minimum number? What's the minimum number of drinks before you go out on the ice? Because there has to be a minimum.
No, so yeah, dude, I wish I take it serious that me, I'm a competitor. So then I frown upon if I see guys getting a little sauce, what are you doing, bro? If you want to go to the box, you want to drink.
Serious.
Oh yeah, but afterwards, this is the part that sucks too. The winners have to buy you drinks, which is cool. But then I feel no, I should be punished. If I lose, I should be punished.
Yeah, for real.
It's such a nice sport that the winners have to buy you a beer and the winners have to sweep the ice afterwards. And then if you're getting beat too bad, you're supposed to quit. We never quit. Refuse to quit. I drag it on as long as I possibly can. I try to just talk as much trash as I possibly can in the spirit of curling. But yeah, a few brooms have been broken, which is very, again, you're talking about people that professional curlers are professional. They literally play video games. They all have real jobs, because to be a professional curler, all you have to do is sign up and then pay your entry fee and show up. It's crazy hard to get into.
Did you pick this up in Minnesota? When did you start curling?
About a year and a half ago.
Did you?
Yep. And my very first match was against John Schuster in the Olympic gold medal team.
No way.
So yeah.
Well, hey guys.
Getting after it.
Hey, I hate to cut you off, Jared. We are about to go off here. The hour is almost up. This was amazing. Thank you guys for joining. I almost selfishly, as a fan, I'm going to try to force everybody who works at VN to get you guys back. If we're stuck in this quarantine for a while, I would love to stick you dudes back in a room and just talk about some of the old times and players.
What's the next pick?
I would love that.
What's the next pick? Josh, what do you think the next pick is going to be? Nate.
Me or Nate?
Go ahead, Josh. You got it. What you
Josh,
think?
go first.
What you think, Josh?
I think we need old linemen, don't we?
That's what I'm saying.
I think we need some old linemen.
I'm 100% with Josh. If Kurt's going to be your guy, you got to protect him.
Yeah.
I'm with Josh. I want to trade.
Yeah.
Who you got, Nate?
That might happen.
There's a couple of D tackles out there, man. There's a kid out of TCU and a kid out of Mizzou. Just consider it. We know what the 49ers did last year. They stocked up on that defense and they beat people up like that. At 49ers versus Green Bay, those two games, they sent the message to everybody. And everybody was kind of frowning up at them like, damn, you guys going to go defense. I kind of like the old school approach, man. If you can beat up some of these finesse teams, you'll have a chance of making it to the playoffs.
Yeah, but they also ran through us too. And I mean, they ran the
it's true.
They got it on both ends.
Yeah,
it's true.
Hey, guys, thank you so much for joining us. B-Rob, Jared, Josh, Nate, we really appreciate you guys. Quick couple announcements from the Vikings. Be sure to check out the Vikings locker room. You can get all your draft gear. You can get a hat like Josh. You can get that number 20 Jeff Gladney jersey and number 18 Justin Jefferson jersey. Also, check out Vikings.com to register for a chance to hear details on how you can have a 2020 private. You can see a private draft video chat with Rick Spielman, general manager. And if you go to Vikings.com, we have a Unite the North hat that's brought to you in partnership with Polaris. So a lot of cool stuff that you can get if you head over to our site. Guys, thank you so much for doing this. Ben Lieber, PA, Voice of the Vikings, you guys are always the tops. Everybody enjoy their weekends and enjoy the rest of the NFL draft.
Hey, Spielman, I'm available, buddy. I'm available.
We all are.
Everyone is. Everyone.
We all are.
All right.
All right, man.
Later, boys.
See you guys.
See ya.